Hello students. So the first subsection that I am going to discuss today is transfer function of a network. In this section, following topics are to be covered. First thing is covered is what is a transfer function, what is the importance of a transfer function for an engineer. The next thing is I have tried to derive a transfer function of a simple RC system to give you a fair idea about transfer function. After transfer function, the most important thing is how it can be plotted for magnitude as well as phase. So in this section, we are going to cover how we can plot magnitude and phase of a transfer function. All of you are familiar with a linear network. A linear network is having some input and equivalently it is giving some output. So when you apply certain input to a network, definitely you are getting some output. So your transfer function in a layman's language can be defined as your output is equal to input multiplied by your transfer function of the network. So there are certain definitions that are being given as far as transfer function is being concerned. Transfer function is being denoted by h omega, also called the Netter function, and it can be defined as an analytical tool useful for finding frequency response of a circuit. In fact, the frequency response of a circuit is the plot of circuit's transfer function versus omega, where omega varies from omega is equal to 0 to omega is equal to infinity. Where omega is equal to 2 pi f, you are already aware of this concept. A transfer function is the frequency dependent ratio of a force function to a forcing function. This is one more input definition for transfer function. A transfer function can also be defined in a simple manner. Suppose you are having a transfer function which can multiply by a factor of 4. So suppose you are providing input 2, then your output is equal to 4 multiplied by 2 is equal to 8. So if you change the input 3, it becomes 12. If you change it to 4, it becomes 16 and so on. So your transfer function remains constant, your input changes. So your output is your input multiplied by transfer function. So that's why your input is not changing, input is changing, but transfer function remains constant. So it's very important to look for transfer function. So the transfer function of a circuit is the frequency dependent ratio of phasor output. Output is denoted by omega because we are dealing in terms of frequency, and your input is x omega. So this is a linear network. Here you can find out that we are having your input like this, x omega, and your output is y omega, and your linear network is transfer function is h omega. So your output is your input multiplied by transfer function. So being a complex quantity, your transfer function h omega has a magnitude h omega and your phase. So this is how you can define them. So the transfer function can be expressed in terms of numerator polynomial and denominator polynomial. So your transfer function is being defined as this particular concept. So suppose you are being provided with a transfer function for a RC circuit. Sorry, you are being asked to find out transfer function of a RC circuit. So this is your RC circuit. So as we talk about, two kinds of domains are there. One is time domain, another is frequency domain. So when you talk about frequency domain, complexity arises. So instead of C, we are actually writing 1 by j omega C. So now in this section, we are going to study how we can find out the transfer function of a RC circuit. So the transfer function of a RC circuit is being given by your output divided by input. So this is your impedance corresponding to input section. This is your input corresponding to output section. So dividing this, your overall transfer function comes out to be this. where later on j omega can be replaced by s. So we divide this particular thing into two components. So this particular component is called magnitude component, and this particular component is called phase component. So this is omega, your frequency you are applying application of frequency, and omega naught is frequency where this is being decided by the choice of R and C components. So to plot H and phi, whether we can say magnitude and phase, we are actually talking about a frequency range in between 0 to infinity. We obtain their values at some critical points and then sketch. So as omega is equal to 0, your h is equal to 1 and phi is equal to 0. At omega is equal to infinity, your h is equal to 0 and omega phi is equal to minus 90 degree. At omega is equal to omega naught, your h is equal to 1 by under root 2 and phi is equal to 14. So these are certain points and they are being described in this particular table. You can find out these are certain frequencies. This is your magnitude, this is your phase, then omega by omega naught, and so on. These are certain values which we are finding out from 0 to infinity. So based on this, we have made two plots. This is your magnitude plot. So here you can see that when your frequency is on the higher side, this magnitude is falling. Similarly, your phase is also changing, and initially it is 0 and later on this phase is minus 90 degree. So I hope you get some fair idea about transfer function, what is its importance and how you are actually going for that. So first of all, you need to solve it using KVL and KCL, and then we have to find out this equation, and then we have to separate it out real and imaginary parts, and later on we have magnitude as well as phase, and we have these values for your magnitude and phase, and then we have plots like this. Then this particular thing is very important. As far as your transfer function is being concerned, then we are having concepts of poles and zeros in the transfer function. You might have studied it in network functions, but it's important we have to discuss this at present. So let's discuss this particular concept. So a system can be defined by its transfer function, which is ratio of polynomials in the Laplace variables S. So as the defined transfer function is a rational function in the complex variable, so S is equal to sigma plus j omega. So that is, a system is often defined in terms of poles and zeros of its transfer function. A zero as a root of numerator polynomial is a value that results in a zero value of the function. Suppose a pole as a root of the denominator polynomial is a value for which the function is infinite. Suppose this is your function like this. So what happens? Initially, your transfer function comes out to be like this. This is your transfer function, like this. And what happens? They have actually solved this and arranged this like this. So here you have a constant factor and s minus something. Similarly, you have numerators and denominators. Now what happens? If your numerator terms becomes 0, your output function becomes 0. But if your denominator becomes 0, your transfer function becomes infinity. So 0 means your system is actually decaying. Suppose you are having oscillations like this. So your oscillations are actually dying like this. So this is your 0. So your system is attaining some sort of stability. And infinity means your oscillations are increasing like this. So this leads to instability of the system. So here we have numerator and denominator, and once again I will repeat. So the numerator terms gives to zeros and denominator terms gives to zeros. poles. So 0 makes your system 0, while poles make your system infinite. So Zi's are the roots of the equation ns is equal to 0, and pi's are the roots of the equation ds, denominator, and often defined as poles. So as we can see, the factors in numerator are written so that s is equal to zi zeros, the numerator and the transfer function vanishes. That is, if s tends to this, your transfer function becomes 0. That is what I am talking about. And similarly, if your s is equal to poles, pi, the denominator ds is equal to 0, then it becomes infinity. That means your system becomes unstable, system becomes unbounded. So this is illustration. This is your system unstable, this is marginally stable. That means your oscillations are not building up, but altogether they are also not dying. This is under damped system. That means it will take some time to decay, and this is critically damped system. That means your system becomes stable at once. So I hope you understand the concept of transfer function. That is we are going to utilize everywhere as far as electronics engineering is being concerned, whether control system is there, electrical systems are there, even your microwave systems are there. So everywhere where we are looking for stability of the system, then transfer function need to be find out. So that's all as far as transfer function is being concerned. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the learning.